All right, guys, welcome to Fattz Media Podcast. My name is Seymour. I'm your host, and in today's episode, let me move up a little better, get the light a little better. Let's see how that looks. All right, let's get it. Wait, let's get it right here. Let's go. A little closer. Good. Let's try again. I'm trying to warm this up. All right, let's get some applause going. Too loud. All right, guys, I'm your host, Seymour. Welcome back to Fattz Media Podcast. This platform was built for independent creators and artists, and helping to help you with my knowledge on the music industry and social media and all of that good stuff. Now, if you're one of those people that likes to check out of a video within the first 30 seconds, goodbye. This is not for you. But if you're an independent artist and you want to learn how to promote your music, if you're a content creator, you want to promote your platform, and you want to get some tips, and you want to learn from my mistakes, stay tuned. I'm going to talk in this episode. We're talking about signing bad agreements and how you can end up getting stuck for a very, 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 very long time. And what I'm going to talk to you about is I had an artist. So you're going to learn from my mistakes. This is one of those episodes. So years ago, I had an artist. I'm not going to say his name, but I'm okay to talk about it. He said it was okay. I can talk about it. So I'm not saying his name. So he said it was cool. So I had an artist and we were working together. We're going to the studio, recording music, and he's a great artist and he made a really good song. I can definitely tell you around what time this came out. So he had a song during the same time that Kid Cudi first came out. Kid Cudi's first song that blew up, Day and Night. When he came out with that song, there was a remix made to that song. And it was with Jim Jones, the rap artist Jim Jones, for people who don't listen to rap. So Jim Jones was featured in the remix. And that basically propelled Kid Cudi into hip-hop radio stations and got him his deal and got him everything else, got him, blew him up. So our artist, my artist, I had a record label back in the day. It was called Com Music Group. And we were distributing it independently. And we were seeking out a deal with Koch Records, which is later turned into A1. And now it is Hasbro. Yes, the toy manufacturing company, the ones that own the Power Rangers. They are the platform. Right now, they basically do sync deals and they get their music placed on TV shows and stuff like that. And they make money off the royalties from all the people that signed back in the day, which we did not, thank God. So we were trying to get a deal with Koch. And we had this artist, and he was a great artist, talented artist. And he was recording some music, and we recorded a remix of Day and Night. And it was a good remix. And this was before or early days of Facebook. So there was a social media platform named MySpace. And we were on that heavy. And we received the contract. We received some messages saying, hey, we'd like to meet with your artist. And we said, sure, you can meet our artist. Let's pick a day and time. Not knowing that they actually contacted the artist behind our back. The artist met with them, then came up to us and said, hey, I met with them. They just popped up out of nowhere. Of course, that felt a little fishy. And I was going like, okay, you met with them behind our back. And, we were like, cool. And then they said, yeah, they want to present an agreement. But before they present an agreement, they want to make sure I'm not tied down to anyone. So I said, yeah, but you're with us. So you're not tied down to any major label. You're not tied down to any record label. You are tied down to us. You have an agreement with us. And, we were funding this and all that. We're like, yeah, but they don't want me to have anything with anyone else. So, that right there tells you they want to lock you into a meeting. They definitely met you behind the backs of the people that you're with because they contacted us and contacted him at the same time. And this happens. This happens. They reach out to everyone. If they can get in contact directly with the manager, they'll definitely do, well, I'm sorry, with the artist, they'll definitely do that. And I was not a manager. I was not a manager. I had a record label, and I was functioning as a record label. And I was functioning as a record label looking for a joint venture, because that was big back in the day. You wanted a joint venture deal, and Koch Records was very known for offering joint venture deals. But what I didn't know is that they were very known for offering those deals to people that already had had already a major release in the past. So meaning you were signed to a major, you were dropped for some reason, or you left, and then you wanted to come back out and you wanted to get a 50-50 split. So you were signed with Koch, and then you would split it 50-50. So the label that approached them was not Koch, it was a major, and they approached him, and what they did was they split us up, got him to ask to part ways with us, and hit us with the sympathy card, like, hey, let me out. I'll definitely do right by you. When I get the money from the label, I'll break you off and I'll pay you back for the money that you spent on the studio time and everything else. And which is fine. There's a lot more to it than studio times. When there's independent artists, when you guys have production deals, when you sign to an indie that's going to help you and is going to work with you, there's a lot more than that of studio time, because the studio time, yes, is financial. You have to pay for studio time. You have to pay for engineers. You have to pay for mixing and mastering afterwards. But there's also time when that label is spending on you, paying people to create your social media, to interact with your fans or potential fans, to gather awareness. Back then, there was no social media advertising, because there was barely any social media. So there was no money on that. You had to actually promote by placing ads for $350 for a tiny little ad in a magazine. You had to pay $350 in a Source magazine, something like that. Not Source. Source was too big. You'd have to go with the smaller magazines. There was a magazine in Florida called Ozone Magazine. You could advertise with them for $350 or $500 for like a quarter of the page. You want the whole page, it was like $1,200. And that's what you would have to fight with. And that's the money you would have to spend. But people think, hey, I'll pay you back the $500 that you spent on that ad. But you have to pay a designer for that ad to design it. And you have to pay a photographer to take pictures of the artist. And you have to pay for that artist's haircut. And you have to pay for that artist's clothes. And you have to pay for the jewelry. And all that stuff adds up. But it's fine. I'm going all around. But so what happened was he signed. We let him go. There was no paperwork filled out to let him go. The label provided him with basically a blanket sheet. And he would approach us with that sheet. And when he approached me with the sheet, I just signed it. I read it. And I knew exactly what it was. So there was no need for me to research or anything like that. It was just a paragraph and a half. And it was pretty simple. It's basically, there are no legal ties between us and the artist. And that's basically what it was. And everybody just went their separate ways, and it was completely okay. And if he took care of us financially afterwards, great. He didn't have to. He promised that, but he didn't have to. And then because that would have tied it up a lot longer if he had to do that. We had to include that and make our own paperwork. We'd have to contact a lawyer, and it could have broken up his deal, and this could have been all for nothing. So we just let him go, because to be honest, back then, it was a lot of working an artist, and we had other people we were messing with. And if they didn't want to be with us, we didn't want to spend that effort, make that effort to keep going. All right. So in this episode, I want to talk about signing bad deals. Now, here's the bad part. Here's the bad deal part. He got the deal. He wanted to reach out, apologize. They promised him a check. He got a check. Eventually, I found out he did get a check. The check was for $5,000. And let me tell you, want to know how long this guy lost the ability to make music for himself, or to release any music, or to use his artist name? He could not do this for 12 years. 12 years, $5,000. Is $5,000 enough for you to give up being able to put out music, put out the craft that you love for 12 years. 12. That's how long he lost. 12 years for $5,000. And we did not see a dollar of that $5,000. He did not take that 5,000 and hit us back like, oh, here's for the advertisement you place, here's for the studio time for the song, and the other songs. We didn't get any of that. We got silence for, I believe, 7-8 months. Then after he signed the paperwork, he said, hey, can you go over this? Because I'm reaching out, and he's looking for that one-to-one hand-holding that he's used to build a project and to do things. And he didn't have that. They got him under paper. They got the song that we recorded. They got the ownership to. They kept the song and a few others. And because we released them with the songs, because we weren't going to release them, so we said you could take them. And yeah, and he recorded, I believe he recorded 16 tracks with them. A few of them ended up being taken away after he recorded them. They said, hey, we found another artist. This song's going to fit better too. This is not going to fit the flow for your project. And this is where it's going to go. It's going to go somewhere else. Did he get credit for the writing? No. Did he get credit for any tweaks to the production when the beat was being made? When he said he was recording the song, he changed things. And I've worked with him. He does change things. So I understand that he's one of those artists that he definitely wants to tailor any sound that he gets to flow well with what he's doing. And he has an input, he uses it, he says it. But none of that was taken into effect. None of that was in writing, so he did not get a dime. He was just stuck in limbo for a year and a half, recording just 16 tracks, none of it which came out under his name. And then he was stuck for years and years on and couldn't do anything. Now, when I finally got a chance to read this paperwork, it was one of the worst paperworks, contracts or agreements I've ever seen. Now, I'm going to give you a few bullet points on the paperwork just so you know what to look out for. So one thing is they have a right to an option, and meaning they will option you even after the agreed upon albums have been created and released. There is an option where they can option you for another project. Now, sometimes that other project could be, we're going to make a greatest hits project. We have 5 albums by you, and we want to make a greatest hits, so they want an option. They put the 5. But if that's not specifically written, it can be a 6 project. Another thing is they gave him an advance of $5,000, but the paperwork states $125,000, meaning they said that they were taking $120,000, $60,000 for recording music, and $60,000 for promotion and advertising and all that stuff, and expenses, other expenses. So it was $120,000 for that, and $5,000 goes to him. That was his sign-on bonus. After the completion of the album, he would get another $20,000, which he never received because the album was never completed. Because they had first right of refusal, and they had the right to determine what constituted a completed album. Meaning you can give them 100 tracks, and you can put the tracks together into a nice little bundle of 18 songs. And if they don't agree that that is a completed album, if they do not agree, hey, this album is done, we're ready to put it out, they have the right to say it. And you can't do anything about it.
Do you want to know what happens if you join the Indie Revolution? Join the Indie Revolution with Nario, the all-in-one app for music, podcasts, videos, and a buzzing social feed. It's free to listen, and independent artists can upload their music or videos at no cost. Support real talent and join a creative community that celebrates originality. Download Nario today at nario.co and be part of the Indie Revolution.
All right, we're back. So now that the right of refusal, 16 songs is not a lot. Back in the day, 16 songs was an album. You still had to do intro, outro. You had to make in between sounds and do mixing and mastering, do stuff in between. So yeah, I understand. Now I'm only getting one half of the story here, so there could have been. I understand that. I know this artist, and he knows this. He can be a bit difficult sometimes, so people could have just been frustrated and just got tired of it, recording 16 tracks and they were done. But he was stuck for 12 years. So another thing that you have to look for in your agreements is your out clause. Look for your out clause in the agreement and see if things don't work out and we're not both mutually moving forward, we're not happy. I'm just stuck here for 6 months not doing anything. How do I get out of this deal? Now, normally when you want to get out of a deal, you would have to get your lawyer. Your lawyer would go over the contract, which he charges you for. After he goes over it, he has a meeting with you. He tells you, I've gone over the contract. There's 2 ways, there's 3 ways. These are the ways that we could try to get out of your deal. It's going to take some time because it has to go back and forth. And the bigger the corporation you sign to, the longer it's going to take. So, meaning your lawyer can go up to them and say, hey, I'm formally requesting you release my artist. The artist has the lawyer gets the information. They contact the label. The label gets the letter to the lawyer. The lawyer reads it. Lawyer goes back to the boss. Boss says, what are his numbers? Let's look him up. Because they have multiple artists. They look you up. They see how profitable you are, what they have on you, what music they have stored, all that stuff, how many beats, whatever. And then they come back and say, okay, we'll let him go. We need $500,000. You don't have $500,000. You barely have enough to pay the lawyer. Your lawyer goes back and says, my artist signed to you guys. You gave him $5,000. He has no money. He's been stuck here for years. He doesn't have anything. Majority of the time, you will eventually be let go once they get tired of it, because there's a lot of money being spent on legal. So there's a lot of, you can play legal games, but it's going to be pricey. It'll cost you $20,000 to $60,000 just to go back and forth with them for a year, just to get out of the deal. So if you have a lawyer that he's good, he can really convince them. They can push it a lot further. It helps with lawyers that have relationships with the labels, that they've dealt with the labels before. But they'll contact the label and say, hey, my artist has been signing you guys for years, hasn't released anything ever. You gave him $5,000. He has no money to pay $500,000. And eventually you could get out of that deal. But you have to move quickly. You have to move quickly. He waited a very long time to get out of his deal, so they just let him go. So it was very little movement, because once they reviewed the paperwork and they saw how long it had been, they let him go. If he was in California, in California, you could get out of it a lot easier, because they can only hold you for a certain amount of time. If nothing comes out, nothing's done. California, they have some things where they'll put something out in your name and put it out on YouTube, put it out on some kind of platform, just to say that they put something out, to say that they try to do something with you, and then it'll be harder for you to get off the deal. But yeah, so that's one thing. The right of refusal, you have to check your out clause. It's not really it's not written as an out clause, not going to say out clause, but there's some kind of wording there for it. And if there isn't, you need to add it. Okay. Something that you talk to your lawyer about it and figure out what would be a comfortable thing that you can place in there that won't affect the deal. All right. Another thing is a lawyer. You need a lawyer. Do not sign these deals without a lawyer. They're going to say you can. If you don't have one, they'll provide one for you sometimes. And the one that they provide, which I don't know how legal this is, but they provide people that have worked with them in the past, and they know, hey, this is how the label works. This is a standard deal. That's what we're going to tell you. It's a standard deal. You know what makes it, what you can do to make it non-standard? You review and you change everything. And you see, you have to gamble on yourself. You have to change it to where you both can be happy. If you're not happy and only they are happy, then this is a one-sided deal. Then you're just doomed to fail. You have to talk to them and tell them, hey, I need these things to be comfortable in this deal. And if you want to work with me, if you believe in me, then you'll want to, make it work. You want to fix this up to make it work. All right. Remember, if they came up to you, then you have some leverage. You have to remember that there's a lot of artists that they forget that they have leverage when negotiating these deals. They get presented with this paperwork, and even sometimes the lawyer is he wants that check. He sees that check from the signing bonus, and he's going to get that cut. And he says, "Hey, we can push back, but," and he'll put that doubt in your mind, telling you, "But we could lose the deal." Listen, it's okay. If you think we can lose the deal, we're going to lose the deal over something this small, off of something that's protecting me. Then this is not the right place for me. Then they're I mean, if they are getting upset because I want to protect myself, then that's a problem, right? So this is what you need to think about. This is what you need to look at when you're signing these documents. This is not financial advice in any way. I'm just giving you an example of something that's happened in the past in my life, and you can use it for yours and hopefully help you out with your agreements and your thing. I'm not being very specific as far as agreements with you because I don't know your agreement, but if you have an agreement, definitely get a lawyer. A great way to find a lawyer is look for artists and try to find who helped them release their project and look for their lawyer and then contact them. They're not going to answer, of course. There's going to be secretaries and stuff like that, but you can set up meetings and you can look for a lawyer that way. They're always looking for new clients. Just because they rep this artist doesn't mean they're not going to rep a lower artist, especially if that artist already has a potential deal. If you have a potential deal and you approach these lawyers saying that you already have a potential deal in place, that you have a meeting coming up, they'll send someone with you. All right. There's a very good chance of that. Now, if you don't have anything and you're just starting out and you're just recording music, then they're going to charge you. They're going to charge you to see you. They're going to charge you to explain the business to you. They're going to charge you for every step of the way. And that could help. If you have the money, go ahead. But if you don't have the money, I'd recommend getting your name out there, building up a catalog, releasing independent content, releasing independent music, and getting all your paperwork together for all your music, getting all that right. Check out the podcast. I mean, you're listening to a podcast now, but check out the other episodes and all future episodes. I'm going to discuss how you can protect your music and protect your content, and it'll put you in a better negotiating position with these platforms, with these labels, and you'll be able to work out a better deal. And yeah, and another thing you have to think about is that these labels now, they're not looking for artists. They're looking to become your distributor, to become your partner in every way possible. That is including in your merch and everything. They want to own part of everything. All right. And the only way that you can protect yourself from the situations like that is by owning your name, by owning your domain name, by locking down your name on all socials. You got to cut them off and get control of all of that very early on. All right. There's so many music artists that I look at right now that I look at their accounts. I see they're promoting a song. I go to their link tree. Half of the links don't work. Then I finally go to social media. I see that they have an Instagram page. I find them on TikTok, go to their Instagram. Their Instagram works. So I said, let me check out Threads. Maybe they have a Threads account. No Threads. Go to X. No X. And if there is an X, it's not in that same name. So I can't find them. I just search for that name and it doesn't pop up. No X. Then I check Snapchat. No Snapchat. No YouTube. Sometimes YouTube will have a completely different name from the Instagram name. So Instagram and TikTok will have the same name, and then YouTube will have a different name. Now you can get away with that if you name your YouTube after your label. So if your name is not available on YouTube, but it is available on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter, so like your artist name is available on all the social media platforms, but then when it comes to video, is not available, then you can just lock down the video name, the video channel name under your label or under your group or under your team or whatever name you have for that, and then you put that, and then it can be connected with you in some way. But don't try to make the YouTube name your name. You can add it plus video. You can put a line video dash video, Jay-Z dash video, something like that. Your name dash video. You can do that, but naming it your label name would be better. It'll all tie in together, and then you can put all your music on there. So thanks for watching and listening to a podcast. So if you're watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe, write any comments. You have any questions, go to fattsmedia.com. We have all the links on the description here of this channel and in the description of this video. You go to fattsmedia.com. If you are looking for more podcasts, more audio, we have a blog there. We have a sample press kit that you can use, you can download and use. We're going to put more free downloadables for artists. We're going to have split sheets. We're going to have agreements, sample agreements that you can use. That's all going to be available on fattsmedia.com. Now, if you want a checklist of what you need before you release your album, so if you're releasing a project right now, a single or a project, and you want to make sure you released everything, you have everything done before you did it, before you release it, go to indiesitekit.com. That's a website building site for artists. So if you need an artist, if you're an artist and you need a website design where you can collect your fans' emails, their phone numbers, where you could sell them music, sell access to videos, all that stuff, put a paywall and make some money before you put it out for streaming, indiesitekit.com is the place for music artists to do that, and content creators. Help content creators create their site. Sorry, my mistake. So you can do that, but there's a checklist right there, free, completely for free, right on the homepage, indiesitekit.com. Now, if you're looking for a manager, if you're an artist, you need a manager. Last one, I promise. If you're a manager, you need a manager, go to fattsdistrict.com. The name is in the description. Help you out with distribution if you need it. But if you already have your own distribution set up with Lander, TuneCore, DistroKid, whatever, you can do it that way. But we have a distribution platform there as well. We'll distribute it to over 150 plus streaming platforms and stores. All right. So you'll have your distribution set up for you if you need that. If you don't, there's virtual management. Virtual management is you don't have a team, but you need a team. You don't have a team, but you need a team. So you have your friends with you, but you need somebody to handle all the back end stuff. That's where we come in. If you sign up to the virtual management plan, that will include website design. That will include social media post design for you, submission of your music if needed, categorizing of your music, taking care of all the metadata and all the back end stuff with your music, and so many other things. There's 18 other things that we'll help you out with, all included in the service plan. All right. Sign up to the elite service plan. You could be covered for everything. Check it out at fattsdistrict.com. Thanks for watching the Fattz Media podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening, thank you for listening while you're driving, walking, running. And I hope this helped you out. Listen, do not wait for the majors. Release your music, release your content now. When you're ready to release it, that's when it's time. Just put it out, though. Don't wait too long. Don't overthink it. All right. Peace.
Welcome to Nario. Born from a need to empower independent artists and creators, Nario is your all-in-one streaming platform. Whether you're a music artist, podcaster, filmmaker, or another content creator, start sharing and earning from day one. Nario connects audiences with fresh music, gripping podcasts, and captivating films and shorts. Here, engagement translates to earnings. Our platform also encourages community building through social interaction, short videos, and in-depth discussions. Download today to take charge of your creative journey and connect directly with your audience on Nario. Your story, your platform.